What we show you today is actual information and knowledge that we've been executing for over 5 years. And many companies have done exactly what we're going to show you today and have made millions of dollars. Now, you won't necessarily make millions of dollars, but you can make a substantial amount of money for the little bit of time and effort that you put into just simply walking around for an hour and a half or two around a university putting up posters where you're allowed to. So come along with me, I'll show you what you need to do. The first thing you want to do before you get ready to poster any university is to get an idea of what your surroundings are. If you already attend a university, you're already pretty much ahead of the game. But if you decide that you want to go from one university to the next university doing what we do, you want to find a map very similar to this. You can also, sometimes they're displayed on campus. Sometimes you can get them at the information booth. You'll have to drive around campus usually to find a kiosk that will offer you a map of the university and how the building's laid, because this is very important to figure out which buildings you want to go to and come up with an actual route from building to building to do the job. That way also, when you do the job, the next time you return, you'll know exactly what buildings and what route to take in order to get the job done most efficiently and in the least amount of time. First of all, you're going to need maybe a backpack similar to this so you can use it to carry around your posters. Obviously, you'll also need to use one of our posters that we've already pre-made for you. This is an example. We used color neon paper for our poster because it tends to stand out a little bit better than just white paper or any kind of pastel paper. It catches the reader's attention. Another thing that we use is a staple gun. It's not completely heavy duty, it's just a regular staple gun. You'll need obviously little staples that go with the gun. They look very much like this. Come in little boxes of 1,000. They're very cheap. They're like $2. The stapler itself is probably about 14. It's not a very big investment. I mean, one sale can literally pay for it. Another thing you'll need is regular tape and probably a thing of tacks, so you can tack it on different surfaces. And the tape too can be any kind of either masking tape, scotch tape, double-sided tape, whatever, because there'll be different surfaces that, as you'll see as we walk through the campus, that you'll want to use a different type of attachment system than just staples itself. Some universities require you to get a stamp put on your poster before you hang it. That means like they want permission, they want to see what you're putting up, and that usually isn't a problem. Usually you have to go to somebody in the administration or student services to get it stamped. You can leave them overnight and they'll stamp them for you. In this case, this particular poster, as you can see, you'll see a stamp right here. And this stamp tells the maintenance people who go around and clean off these boards that this has permission to stay here. And they will allow this to hang here for as long as the offer's good or as long until they clean off the board and they feel it's useless anyway. In our case, we don't have the time right now, obviously, to get it stamped, so we're going to go ahead and put it up. Now, I don't know how long these will hang. I can't expect them to hang very long, but still it's useful. I won't put as many flyers as I normally do, but I still want the exposure of this board, and if they don't want it up, they'll just rip it down. It's no big deal. In the case of a board like this, there's a lot of crowding on the board, which you didn't see previously in the tape. The best place is not to really put it in the middle because everybody wants the middle. The best place to put it is something like relatively close to eye level on the board, but on the outside corner. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and put this spot over here, which is a little bit below eye level. This board, on the other hand, as you can see, has no posting saying that the public can't post any signs on a board like this. So in this case, I'm going to take 4 posters and line them up on top of each other to make it look like one. I'm going to take my stapler, I'm going to find it nice and neatly, and just hit it 4 times, like that. Maybe even a 5th time in the middle so the poster won't rip, and that's exactly how you put up a poster. And now people come up, they can read this. Well, you can see these boards. There's a lot of these types of boards through a bunch of different hallways, and usually what they're used for faculty and staff and administration to be able to post different things about what's going on the campus. These boards predominantly are off limits, and you can't post just public listings on these boards. You can see that these boards are really clear. It's summertime, and during the summer, actually after each semester, these boards will get cleared, so you have to go out and pretty much redo your postering. Alright, one thing you want to consider when you are putting up posters on a campus is there are certain buildings that produce better than other buildings. So what you really want to look for is liberal arts types buildings where like the freshman and sophomore go to classes. And usually on most university campuses, there's usually one building, we call it the gold mine building. And usually it's one building that has predominantly almost all classrooms and offices. Usually this building will have anywhere from 15, 20, 25, even as much as I've seen like 50 classrooms in the big universities. If you can find this one building on campus, that's the only building you basically, if you're lazy, you have to do in order to make a lot of money to do this. And you could be in and out of that building in 20 minutes and make hundreds of dollars. The gold mine building, you could say, because it's basically the building that has all the classrooms in it. It's in one place, and most of the people will come and take their general classes at buildings like this. So you're getting exposure to a lot of different people, and it's very easy because you just go wump, 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 right down the line, one classroom after another, putting your posters up. Very easy, quick, a lot of places all at once. Let's go ahead and put some up. There you can see in this room as there's this, a lot of rooms have a second blackboard, a secondary blackboard like this one. And usually it's hardly ever used unless a teacher has a lot of notes, and nowadays a lot of teachers are using overheads instead of writing notes on the board anyway. Both these boards are actually almost becoming obsolete, but anyway, as you can see, I didn't put this up here. This just happened to be here. It says summer work start at $13.10. Call this number, and it says something here, save till whatever, I don't know, but write clearly. But here's what you can do. If you're in this program, you can put $21 an hour, $21 plus an hour. Make it clear and legible. And believe me, this stuff will probably end up staying up here for quite a while. No one's going to bother you. Just say email, which is of course going to be your autoresponder that you set up that you read about in the manual on how to do. And you put your autoresponder address. And in this case, I'm going to use ours. See in this classroom, the board is all the way across the back of the room. I don't see too many of these too often. I've done a lot of postering. What I can say about posters like this is that you're going to want to put like probably 2 and 2, meaning like you're going to want to put one really close to the door, and you want to put it low so people actually sitting here can actually see it, and you want to put one on the opposite side too. That way people on that side of the room can see it as well. As you can see, we are in an actual classroom, and no one's in here. During certain times of the day, classrooms are available to walk into, and they have poster boards like this. Now, most classrooms today have these types of boards in them, but not all. And this particular board goes the length of the room. Some boards will only be maybe a quarter of this, or maybe half. But anyway, you can see that there's a lot of other people in here that advertise. And the reason why they do this is because it works. People are not going to advertise and do this if it didn't work. And that's why we poster. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put my poster up right along with theirs, close by to theirs, because people might read another poster and glance and see mine. And so I'm working off of these as a way not only to entice the reader to come in,